All right, Lloyd Chapman here with another episode of Memory Lane. So, during President Obama's first campaign, he campaigned for president every day for over a year. And every day, every speech, he would say, if I'm elected president, I'll adopt the windfall profit tax on the oil and gas industry and use that money to help, people pay their energy bills. There were, people up on the East Coast, whatever, Midwest were freezing to death because they couldn't afford their fuel oil bills, right? So he promised to enact a windfall profit tax on the oil and gas industry 2 or 3 times a day for over a year. So he was elected on Tuesday, and the next day he had his website change.gov. And under the economy, the first thing was this windfall profits tax on the oil and gas industry, right? Thursday, it was gone. It was gone. And I noticed that. And I was waiting for, some major news source to, say something. And after about a week, nobody said anything. So back then, I was a pretty popular blogger on the Huffington Post, and I wrote a blog about it, about Obama has dropped his windfall profits tax on the oil and gas industry. And I think that's one of the very first blogs I wrote. And it got 3,600 comments. Back then, that was huge. And to tell you the truth, back then, I didn't even know you could respond to the comments. I didn't even know. I should have, gone and responded to some. And that's how the American news media found out that President Obama had dropped his campaign promise to enact a windfall profit tax on the oil and gas industry. And the Houston Post reported on it and mentioned my name. And I think it was, the Wall Street Journal wrote about it. But if you go back and Google Obama drops windfall profits tax on the oil and gas industry, you'll see my blog probably, or at least the stories about it that talk about me and the fact that I exposed that. But I don't think anybody in the media mentioned it until after I wrote that blog. And a few days after that, some radio show up in Washington wanted me to go on a show where people, called in. So I went on the show, and everybody that called in sounded like a lawyer or a lobbyist for the oil and gas industry. They knew details about the profit margins on oil. I mean, they know stuff that, people wouldn't know. So every caller sounded like, he graduated from Harvard Law School and was a lobbyist for the oil and gas industry, right? And I think I may even have that still on my website somewhere, but I beat them all. I beat every one of them. None of them beat me. Because at that point in time, the oil and gas industry was showing record profits, and I think a lot of them weren't paying any federal income tax. And so, no matter what they said, I just came back with, all right, so you guys are making record profits and paying, virtually no federal income tax, But yeah, that was funny. That was a setup. They got me on that show to, to try to make me look foolish, and it didn't work. I crushed all of the hotshot oil and gas industry lobbyists on this, call-in radio show. But yeah, I think you might look it up. Google Obama drops windfall profits tax on the oil and gas industry and see what pops up. I'm Lloyd Chapman. Thanks for watching.